This is a star. So much energy. But who or what powers it?
Behold His Majesty, the King of the solar system. Our magnificent Sun, the star of the show. The Sun, like all stars, is powered by nuclear fusion, a seemingly inexhaustible source of pure energy, which man has not yet been able to recreate on Earth, yet happens naturally in space. Huge waves of gases flame outward, rise and cool, then crash back onto the surface at nearly 60 miles per second. Electrons from the Sun are diluted, mixed, and redirected in outer space and by Earth's magnetic field. The Sun contains 99.85% of the matter of the solar system. Experience a magical mystery tour of your very own solar system, as seen by the Hubble telescope.
It looks like the moon, but it's not. It's Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun.
The surface of Mercury resembles the moon due to a constant bombardment of meteorites in the early formation of the solar system. Mercury is pocked with craters, huge multi-ring basins, and many lava flows. Smooth plains were probably formed as lava flows buried the older terrain, leaving behind fewer craters. In some areas, patches of smooth lava can be seen filling the craters. After the intense bombardment period, much of the remaining surface debris had been swept up, as Mercury entered a lighter bombardment period in which intercrater plains were formed.
Who chose the names for the planets?
Mercury was named by the Romans after the fleet-footed messenger of the gods because it seemed to move faster than the other planets. Mercury is the second smallest planet in the solar system. It is 40% smaller than Earth and 40% larger than the Moon. Apart from the occasional collision with meteorites, Mercury's surface is no longer active and has remained the same for millions of years. Mercury experiences an extreme shift in temperature with days of fire and nights of ice, a difference of more than 500 degrees. Because Mercury has virtually no atmosphere, there is no light reflection, and the sky is always black. Venus, I love you.
Named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty.
Known by ancient astronomers as the morning star and the evening star. It is so bright that we can see it during both sunrise and sunset, causing ancient astronomers to believe that there were two planets. Moving closer to Venus, entering through its atmosphere, a thick, swirling cloud cover composed entirely of sulfuric acid droplets. The surface of Venus is scorched by high temperatures brought on by a runaway greenhouse effect caused by the heavy atmosphere of carbon dioxide. Sunlight passes through and heats the surface, but is trapped by the dense atmosphere, making Venus hotter than Mercury. Liquid water does not exist on the surface and cannot account for the bright highlands. Studies have shown the material might be iron pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold. Known as Ishtar to the Babylonians, the planet rotates from east to west. To an observer on Venus, the sun would set in the east and rise in the west. Astrologically, Venus is associated with the principles of harmony, beauty, balance, the feelings and affections, and the urge to sympathize and unite with others. It is involved with the desire for pleasure, sensuality, personal possessions, comfort, and ease. Almost all of the Venusian surface is covered with volcanic rock. Huge lava flows extend for hundreds of kilometers and have flooded the lowlands, creating vast plains. Flows from volcanoes have produced long, sinuous channels, with one extending nearly 7,000 kilometers. It is easy to see that volcanism played a major role in shaping the surface of Venus. Although many lines of evidence suggest that Venus is likely to be volcanically active, present-day eruptions have not been confirmed. Violent winds have been detected in the upper atmosphere of Venus. Ground winds, however, never exceed a few kilometers an hour, blowing just lightly enough to move the grains of sand along the surface. Only recently have we been able to view the surface of Venus. In the past, even our most powerful instruments on Earth were not able to penetrate its dense atmosphere. Its surface has been mapped in detail only in the last 20 years.
We are the first generation able to see Venus this closely.
Astronomers refer to Venus as Earth's sister planet. Both are similar in size, mass, density, and volume. However, there are no oceans on Venus, and the atmospheric pressure is 92 times that of the Earth's. Venus is not likely to be a place for people to colonize, since its surface conditions are so vicious, at least to us. But it does show us what a planet much like the Earth could be like if conditions were slightly different, and what Earth itself could become like if we're not careful.
That's because of all of the carbon dioxide in Venus's atmosphere.
Good thing it's not like that on Earth. At least, not if we can avoid it.
Au revoir, Star of Bethlehem.
Planet Earth, the third rock from the Sun. For a space traveler, the distinguishing Earth features are the blue waters, brown and green land masses, and white clouds set against a black background. Our planet appears to be big and sturdy, with an endless ocean of air. The Earth's atmosphere and extensive magnetic field shields us from nearly all of the harmful radiation coming from the Sun and other stars. It also protects us from meteors, most of which burn up before they can strike the surface. The air has to be just a little bit dirty for clouds to form, because water vapor needs a surface on which to condense. Even the cleanest air has some microscopic particles of dust, smoke, or salt for water droplets to cling to, so the air is rarely too clean for clouds to form. Clouds are water. The droplets of water in a cloud are so small that it takes about 1 million of them to form a single raindrop.
Each tiny cloud droplet is light enough to float in the air, the same as when a little cloud floats out from your breath on a cold day.
Plate tectonics, from the Greek word tecton, meaning builder or mason, describes the large-scale motions of Earth's lithosphere. The theory encompasses the older concepts of continental drift, developed early in the 20th century, and seafloor spreading, understood in the 60s. The outermost part of the Earth's interior is made up of two layers, the upper lithosphere and the lower asthenosphere. Tectonic plates are able to move because of the relative density of the oceanic lithosphere and the relative weakness of the asthenosphere. Dissipation of heat from the mantle is acknowledged to be the original source of energy driving plate tectonics.
So that's what a tropical depression looks like from above. Looks like an artist made this crater. Konnichiwa, Japan.
This is our protective shield. However, in order for our atmosphere to protect us, we must protect it. The moon and the earth are inseparable, working together in perfect harmony. Our moon is a rare celestial object, and few Earth-like planets could have produced such a chance outcome during their assembly. The moon is an essential engine for maintaining the continent-ocean duality on Earth, affecting the tides, seasons, even our emotions. Its synchronous rotation results in its keeping the same face turned towards Earth at all times. Our world would not be the same without the moon. We love the moon, and it seems to love us too, because it's always there, night and day.
Copies, negative return. Okay, we copy. You're going to send up the updated HT.
Discover Houston, press to ATO.
Copy, performance nominal.
The summer of '69.
The moon's surface is marked by impact craters, formed when asteroids and comets collided into the lunar surface, as it has no atmospheric shield. The Earth is blessed with an atmosphere that protects us from meteors, most of which burn up before they can strike the surface of our planet. Our magnificent moon, Earth's constant companion. Mars, commonly referred to as the Red Planet.
Named by the Romans in honor of their god of war.
Before space exploration, Mars was considered the best candidate for harboring extraterrestrial life. In 1938, when Orson Welles broadcasted a radio drama based on the science fiction classic War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, enough people believed in the tale of invading Martians to cause a near panic.
Here we go. Let's take a closer look.
Scientists have recently observed images that suggest there may be current sources of liquid water at or near the surface of the Red Planet. It was once believed that irrigation canals on the planet could have been constructed by intelligent beings.
Martians! Martians!
Mars is very similar to the driest deserts on Earth, and according to biologists, its soil is self-sterilizing. They believe that the combination of solar ultraviolet radiation that saturates the surface, the extreme dryness of the soil, and the oxidizing nature of the soil chemistry prevents the formation of living organisms. Because the atmospheric pressure at the surface of Mars is about 100 times less than it is at sea level on Earth, liquid water would immediately begin to boil when exposed to the Martian surface. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the entire solar system. Mars is an intriguing and exciting planet with many adventures and findings that await explorers. Though just a small step on a cosmic scale, it will be a significant one for humans because it will require going away from Earth with very limited capability to return. Once committed to a journey to Mars, astronauts will not be able to return until the alignment of the planets allows it. This is a very narrow window, and the commitment to launch requires a minimum of 3 years in space. The sand dunes of Mars are in no rush to move across the red planet's surface. It can take up to 1,000 years for dunes to move just a few meters on Mars, largely due to the planet's apparent lack of moving surface water, weak winds, and thin atmosphere. Since winds are extremely rare on the red planet, occurring just a few times each decade, the dunes of Mars are confined to their glacial pace. Mars has long been a fascinating subject, and Hollywood has tried to respond. In the 1950s, The Angry Red Planet depicted life on Mars, with scenes where the surface was entirely red and strange rat spiders attacked the crew. Robinson Crusoe on Mars showed Mars as a desert-like planet with a thin atmosphere, and the hero survives there with an alien, human-like companion. These movies used the famous astronomer Percival Lowell's descriptions of the surface of Mars and came out long before we ever sent a probe to Mars to see what it was like. It would be interesting to watch a movie about Mars based on the images available now. It was Jung who first said, to explain the symbol was as if talking to a man from Mars who knew nothing about our life on Earth. A trip to Mars today would mean 6 to 9 months flight time from Earth, 10 rockets for supplies and life support materials, 40 minutes to receive messages from Earth, a 50% failure rate for landing on Mars, risk of mental breakdown and suicidal tendencies, risk of heavy cosmic radiations, a very narrow time frame for return to Earth. Maybe we could do better tomorrow. Many other observations and proclamations by notable personalities added to what has been termed Mars fever. In 1899, inventor Nikola Tesla observed repetitive signals that he later surmised might have been radio communications coming from another planet, possibly Mars. Tesla's theories gained support from Lord Kelvin, who, while visiting the United States in 1902, was reported to have said that he thought Tesla had picked up Martian signals. However, Kelvin emphatically denied this report, stating, "What I really said was that the inhabitants of Mars, if there are any, were doubtless able to see New York, particularly the glare of the electricity." In recent decades, the high-resolution mapping of the surface of Mars reveals no artifacts of habitation by intelligent life. But pseudoscientific speculation about intelligent life on Mars continues.
And now, the giants. Starting with Jupiter, the most giant of all giants.
If Jupiter were hollow, more than 1,000 Earths could fit inside. It also contains more matter than all of the other planets combined. The Great Red Spot is a complex storm moving in a counterclockwise direction. At the outer edge, material appears to rotate in 4 to 6 days. Near the center, motions are small and nearly random in direction. Jupiter's atmosphere is very deep, perhaps comprising the whole planet, and is somewhat like the Sun, composed mainly of hydrogen and helium.
The rings of Saturn are made of flying rocks? Amazing!
Saturn is the only planet in our solar system that is less dense than water. There is no surface to stand on. The fascinating ring system, observed by Galileo in 1610, is only beginning to be understood. At first thought to be a solid ring, it is now known to be thousands of water ice particles, with some chunks as big as a small car. The rings are held in place by moons that shepherd the particles and keep them in a series of ringlets and meteoroids. 61 moons are known to orbit the planet, not counting hundreds of moonlets within the rings. Saturn's rings may be particles of an old moon orbiting the planet, smashed apart in a collision about 50 million years ago. It is believed that Saturn's rings will one day disappear. This will happen in about 50 million years.
The planet is named after the Roman god Saturn. The day Saturday is also named after him.
It is no wonder that Saturn is often hailed as the most beautiful planet in the solar system. Uranus is the only known planet that rotates or spins on its side. A day on Uranus is only about 17 hours. But the tilt of Uranus works out so that one pole or the other is usually pointed towards the Sun. This means that a day at the North Pole of Uranus lasts half of a Uranian year, 84 Earth years. So, if you could stand on the North Pole of Uranus, you would see the Sun rise in the sky, circle around for 42 years, and finally dip down below the horizon. Then you would have 42 years of darkness. Discovered by means of mathematics before ever being seen through a telescope, the blue planet Neptune was named after the Roman god of the sea. Its atmosphere reflects sunlight, minus the red end of the spectrum. This is how Neptune gets its azure blue color. Named Scooter because of its speed, this small, irregularly shaped, eastward-moving cloud scoots around Neptune every 16 hours or so. Neptune is a dynamic planet, featuring the strongest winds on any planet in the solar system. Most of the winds on Neptune blow westward in opposite rotation of the planet.
To be or not to be part of the solar system.
Pluto is dead, declared a famous astronomer upon learning the results of the votes made by scientists deciding Pluto's fate and status as a planet. Pluto is no longer a member of an exclusive club. There are finally and officially 8 planets in the solar system. There are more than 40 of these dwarfs, including the large asteroids Ceres and Xena, a distant object slightly larger than Pluto recently discovered. Pluto's being dubbed a dwarf planet is a historic move that's already generating controversy, forcing textbooks to be rewritten, and curiosity to go further and further. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing.
Albert Einstein.